Good morning and welcome to Racing Unleashed, where we're here for the Racer League iRacing event. It is event 3 here at Racing Unleashed, and what a fantastic day we have in store for you. 2 weeks ago we saw the fantastic racing of the Challenge League drivers, and we are back for some more Racer League action a week before the spring event. And it's going to be a great day here in the Apex Racing TV studios. I'm your host, Matthew Duffin, bringing you through all the thrills and spills. Today, it's going to be fantastic action here at Daytona once again as we get into a fantastic event. But as we go into that spring event 3 next week, the drivers will be back in their familiar surroundings of the simulators in the Racing Unleashed hardware. Let's take a look at a quick video.
Is awesome. First of all, starting off with the tub, the chassis itself. This is actually handcrafted in Italy, and it's designed to simulate effectively what it's like to be in a single-seater environment. Now, when you lower yourself inside here, you are sitting in a real carbon seat, which is very tricky indeed. Now, what self-respecting single-seater wouldn't have a removable steering wheel? This also carbon effect, real carbon shifters here, and there is a plethora of tech for you to learn as you go down the Racing Unleashed journey. Now down there's a really trick pedal box. Once again, this is designed to simulate what a brake servo is like on a single seater with high downforce, really stiff, really reassuring, and you can actually adjust the pedal box itself to get your optimum feel. Now then, racing harnesses. This for me is my favorite feature. There is a retention system inside the shell itself which simulates G-force under heavy braking, and it can actually replicate up to 5 Gs of deceleration. It's super immersive, and when you try it for the first time, you can't believe how much it adds to the overall immersion of driving a single-seater. And then to tie it all together, down here at the back, we've got the hydraulic actuators, and this simulates the lumps and bumps, going over curbs, undulations, and just general movement of the car. All in all, it's one of the best simulator experiences you're going to find anywhere.
Thank you there, James, for that lovely explanation. You'll get to see more of our simulators next week in the 3rd of the spring events, and again later in the year come September when the season gets underway for the Assetto Corsa competition. Then it's going to be fantastic to see the Assetto Corsa platform back on our screens, and the competition that will be heated as always. We see great battles throughout in terms of that championship that's coming up later in the year around September time. Dates will be confirmed on social media. We can though hear now from our owner and CEO, Francisco Fernandez.
Dear friends of motorsports, dear sim racing community, I'm Francisco Fernandez, founder and CEO of Racing Unleashed, and I'm thrilled to invite and welcome you to our series. At Racing Unleashed, our goal is to put a dent into the universe of motorsports, breaking down barriers and making motorsports accessible for everyone, everywhere. With our state-of-the-art simulators, we bridge the gap between the virtual world and the physical world of racing. Our racing lounges do not only provide you exposure to state-of-the-art technology, but also ensures for fairness in sports, harmonizing software, hardware to give everybody the same chances to win. Additional to that, being the owner of probably the most beautiful and exclusive racing resort in the world, Ascari in southern Spain, I'm dedicated to scout the best talents in sim racing and bring them to the real track and real cars. Join us on this exciting journey and help us to become the most exciting and engaging motorsports in the world. Follow us as we expand our reach, coming to the town next to you globally. I'm also dedicated to make sim racing careers true careers for you. This year, we are excited that we've added iRacing to our offering, immersing ourselves even deeper into your hearts. Now you can compete even from the coziness of your own home and race for prize money. So I wish you herewith best of luck, may the best win, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again in one of our racing lounges. Thank you very much, Francisco.
Thank you from the kind words from our owner there, Francisco Fernandez, as we move forward into a new chapter and into this this great year of 2024 that it's been, and provided some great racing and action already. We've seen numerous iRacing events this year that's been absolutely fantastic racing. And we've seen our 2 spring events already that have been brilliant to watch, with special prizes up for grabs. iRacing event 3, though, the Racer League drivers will take to the track this morning. And then it's the spring event 3 next week as well. So May action-packed still for the next 2 weekends. You will not want to miss any of the action here at Racing Unleashed, the final of the spring events as well. As we head, though, into today's event, it was a great time out last time at Daytona, where we had some fantastic races. The way the format worked was absolutely brilliant. This was the podium, and the guys who took home the prize money. It was Haroldas Jatatis who took home 125 euros, with Gerard Sedini in second place, and Michael Clubb was P3, the American. Very delighted to be on the podium and on that top 3 to take home 50 euros with him. It was great racing last time out. Like we said, the reverse grid format in that second race, as well as them elimination drivers, really played a key role into some brilliant action. If you remember back to the first of 2 races last time out, it was one on the line. The slipstream out of the Le Mans chicane down the second part of the oval banking to the line really made it fantastic scene. It was great action and great drama all the way to the very end of the race. And I'm sure we're going to have much more the same today. Obviously, we know that the Nordschleife 24-hour is on at the moment as a big iRacing event, but we have got a good action-packed grid. We've got 23 cars currently in the lobby on the grid with 9 minutes left of free practice. So a good-sized grid for today's event. This is going to be absolutely fantastic to see what these drivers can do. And they're in for a bit more prize money today than what we saw last time out. Excuse me. For first place this time, it's no longer 125 euros for that Challenger League prize money. They get to bank 200. Second place will grab themselves 150, and third place will be 100 euros. So the chance today to really pocket a good bit of prize money and to maybe take that home with you. Looking forward to the next event coming in a fortnight's time, which will be revealed at the end of today's show. So then, prize money, Challenger League results done. The cars, though, that you saw or will see today, if you was with us 2 weeks ago, you noticed it was the IMSA GT3 car. So that is the Audi R8 LMS GT3 Evo, the BMW M4, the Ferrari 296, the Lamborghini Huracan Evo, the Mercedes AMG GT3, and the Porsche 911. That is the 992 version of that car. So not the latest Porsche and not the latest Lamborghini, but it's interesting to see that it was still just as competitive with them newer model cars on the grid in the likes of the Ferrari and the BMW. They really did hold their own, and it was great to see such a I say great to see such a variety. It was still heavily Porsche dominated, but there was a small variety around. There's a bit more of an option today, looking at my timing screen in front of me here. Still heavily Porsche dominated though, so that kind of gives you a little inkling as to where you know who prefers what car around this possible circuit though. The race format for today is an absolute fantastic format. It is 2 elimination races. It is a 10-minute qualifying that will set the grid for race 1. It is a 14-lap race 1 and 2. The way this works is from drivers P21 to P30 will be eliminated at the end of lap 5. From then on after that, lap 6 to 12, it will be 2 drivers. The bottom 2 drivers on that list from lap 6 to 12 will be eliminated until we get a final 6. And it'll be a top 6 shootout for the final 2 laps of this race, lap 13 and 14. And then we get to do the same format all over again, except in race 2, it is a full reverse grid. So those guys who won that first race will be starting at the very back for race 2, meaning that them drivers have got to come through the pack. And it is a point accumulation that will win you the prize money today. Points on offer for 32 for the win, all the way down with 23 drivers in the lobby to 8 points. So it is about who can score the most points in both races. So you may win that first race and take home 32 points. You've got to fight through that pack in race 2. And that is going to be the absolute key here, to see whether these drivers can do it or not, and see who's going to have the best tactic in terms of going forward. Not necessarily winning the race, but getting a good, a set of 4th places might win them today's event. That is the key for this outing here today. And we can take a look at the fantastic Daytona road course here in Florida. Absolutely beautiful circuit. Obviously, well known for the Daytona 24-hour race earlier in the year. And a great, great track to be a part of. As you come then through turn 1, you take a wide entry into turn 1. You really get it tight as you exit the corner before you come in towards 2 and 3. And that is really where a lot of mistakes we saw happen for drivers last time out, as well as a few incidents, just all getting, as it all kind of tightens up through this little section, we saw drivers just making a small bit of contact, and that was putting other drivers onto the grass. And really got to be careful through this section. In though then towards the international horseshoe, this first of 2 horseshoes at this circuit again, you can kind of take this, you see drivers take this in a different way, V-shaped or tight to the corners as they go through. In towards turn 5 then, the dog leg. Flat out left-hander, easy to make a mistake. We saw a lot of drivers run a little wide on the exit and drop a wheel onto the grass. We saw one cut straight across and pretty much miss the western horseshoe here of turn 6 and come straight across there into one of the other, I believe it was into one of the Audis, and then into the wall. That was a huge incident last time out. You then come down to turn 7, sharp left-hander. Got to get your braking zone right, because you do not want to run deep here. You will lose all momentum coming onto the oval where it is flat out for a good proportion of the lap. You come through the banked corner then of turn 8, which is a 31-degree oval banking corner. Again, flat out, using that slipstream, picking your moment. Do you make the move before the Le Mans chicane, or do you tuck in and wait to get a run through the Le Mans chicane? That's what we saw a few drivers do last time out in the Challenger League. Through the Le Mans chicane you come then, 9, 10 and 11. And then you head on to, again, the final part of the circuit. Flat out as you come onto the accelerator out of Le Mans. Around turn 12, the banking once again, down towards that start-finish line. And as we saw in race 1 last time out, it was a race that was won on the line by thousandths, hundredths of a second in the race. It was great to watch, and I assume we're going to get a bit more of this as well. And it wasn't just for the race win. This was to eliminate drivers as well, where we saw drivers getting that run through Le Mans and getting the slipstream at the very end to pull out and try and make that move. So crucial to decide where you make the moves. Do you do it before the Le Mans chicane on that part of the oval, or do you do it on the second part after Le Mans towards the line in turn 1? This could be absolutely key to drivers being eliminated, winning the races, getting them extra points in the bag. This is going to be crucial in today's race. Practice coming to an end. There is 2.5 minutes left, and let me tell you what a gap on practice this is. There is 1 second separating the top 17 cars. This is absolutely fantastic to see. And there's not a lot actually between the top 20. It is 1.04 between the top 20. So this is absolutely fantastic. There is one driver who's currently not yet set a lap time. P23 has also now, he set a lap time and is currently 3.6 off the back. So maybe just finding his feet at the moment. Obviously drivers still getting into the lobby and getting into their simulators and getting into their seats, ready to take on this fantastic event we have today. But you just see there, look, Lorente, top of the timing screens there. 1 second separating the top 17. That is not a lot. There is Ruben Lorente. Looks nice and relaxed as he comes now into one of the horseshoes, and is the Western Horseshoe. And again, like we say, 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes actually left of practice. So crucial, I say crucial for drivers to get laps in. It's that preparation going into the qualifying session. Do you do a quick qualifying simulation, or do you, just carry on working on your lines, your speed, where to brake, where to put down the accelerator? Here's Vlad Tokarev we saw last time out. He'll be looking for another good showing today in his Ferrari 296, and he's currently 7/10, if not nearly 8/10 off the back of the leader. And that's nothing with a bit of slipstream around here. That could prove to be not a lot in the race. There's a lot of drivers currently sat in the pit lane. Kovacs actually moves up into P17. So that now makes the top 18 separated by 1 second then. So Martin Kovacs into P17 and returns to the pit lane as Tokarev here then, coming through the Le Mans chicane. Down to Tim Bellicky. Great to see Tim back out on the circuit today. in his Porsche 911. Then the privateer currently down in 19th place, just over a second, 1.008 off the pole. And that then will be practice done. So the drivers will now get ready for their qualifying runs. It is a 10-minute qualification period here with 24 cars now in the lobby. And we do have one Audi now that has just joined in with Sergio Pardina in that lobby in the Audi then. So it's great to see Sergio in. Making, I do believe now, bar Lamborghini. We have every car bar a Lamborghini out there on the circuit today, which is a shame to not see a Lamborghini. But Tim Bellicki, the first man who's going to really appear on the circuit so far, and this is going to, sorry, that's Gerard Sardini, who's coming out on track running the same livery as Tim, that looked to be. And onto the circuit he comes now then. Took a bit of prize money last time out, did Gerard? Just going to be fascinating to see if he'll take some more home today with him, or what he'll be able to do in this race. This is the Racer League event. Challenger League drivers are able to participate as well. Anthony here then. Toranzo with the virtual reality headset on. Only ever driven once with a VR headset. I couldn't see a thing. Glasses steamed up. That was the end of that. So hopefully Anthony doesn't have that problem. I assume sporting that headset, he'll be pretty comfortable in there. Simon Demori, we saw last time out as well, was second place in the first race. It was Simon Demori who was pipped to the line at the very end of the first race 2 weeks ago. So he'll be looking to possibly win today and rectify what happened 2 weeks ago. But if not, maybe get that prize money, because he didn't have the best of second races, and that's what cost him overall in terms of getting some prize money. And the only car not out on the circuit is the Audi driver of Sergio Pardina then. Here is Martin Kovacs in his Porsche 911. See the driver's cameras here. They come through. Prize money in store, so the drivers have to have their camera on to meet the requirements to take home the prize money. If they do not have a camera, then believe they aren't, they won't win any prize money. So it is vital for these drivers to make sure that their cameras are working and are connected up to our lobby here in the studio. It's Kovacs nice and tight to the tyre wall through turn one. Not using too much curbs through 2 and 3. Into the international horseshoe he comes now. Look, little deep, and then brings it in. Nicely done there. Runs out wide over the white line. It's that yellow curb that's the track limits through that part of the section. Now into the dogleg. See if he lifts. Flat out through the dogleg then. Keeps it to the left-hand side of the circuit. Into the western horseshoe now again. Deep at the first pot. Turns it in nice for the second pot. Possibly a little wider than he'd have liked it. But not too bad. That's not going to cost him too much. Back across the right-hand side of the circuit. All over the curb. A little bumpy there on the right-hand side of the car. Onto the oval we come now. And for Martin Kovacs, the Hungarian driver, now keeps low on the first part of the banking. Well, we do have Sergio on track, so we do have 24 drivers out there at the moment. And in fact, we do have a Lamborghini out there as well. I missed that one on my timing screen. So there is one of every car being represented in today's event. Kovacs in towards Le Mans over the first curb. You want to run as much of them 4 curbs as you possibly can. Get a good run through Le Mans. Now on to the second part of the oval, the second banking. First real one you hit, because you kind of join the first part halfway through. Hold it to the left-hand side of the circuit for the shortest run to the line. Here comes Kovacs. He looks like he will be the 4th man to set a flying lap. It is Demori who's currently P1, and Kovacs goes 6/10 off the back of him, down in 5th place as more times start to come in here. Here is Soriano in the Porsche 911. Looking at the sector times, not too bad, not great though. So this could just be a sighter for Soriano here. Across the line he goes now, and yeah, P17, 10 seconds off the pace. Just a little sighter lap for him, maybe an extra lap to get them tyres prepared. Here is Vlad Tokrev, currently 7th place. He's half a second off the pole. in the Ferrari 296. Now onto the oval circuit he comes. Up to the middle of the track, drops it down towards the lower part. You don't want to drop a wheel over that yellow line. Just unsettle the car a little bit and lose a bit of momentum as through he comes now out towards the concrete wall, ready to pick up his braking zone in towards Le Mans. Using all of the curb, makes a little mistake though through Le Mans. That's going to ruin his lap time. And he's going to have to go again. He went too deep, too much speed. Here is Juan Ferrado then. In his Porsche 911. Lorente moves up to P4. Sardini goes up to P7 now. So a couple of drivers just improving. Tim Bellicki moves up to P11 as well. And it is his brother, Lewis, who moves up to P1, the Apex Racing Academy driver. Pole position, or provisional pole at the moment in his Mercedes-Benz, 0.004 of a second. Alonso moves up into P12. That is Miguel Alonso. Patrick Thompson now going up into P7 as Juan Ferrado here comes into the Le Mans chicane. Soriano goes P1 now by 1/10 of a second. Good lap from Soriano in the Porsche. And Ferrado now will keep this as tight as he can. That is Juan Blainett who goes into P2 off 1/10 behind. So great driving from these boys. It is fantastic to see at the moment. Top 17, top 18 covered by a second. Juan Ferrado down in 21st place. Does he improve on his lap time? He does not, stays P21 overall there. Not a great lap from him last time around. It was 1/10 slower than his personal best. Here is Alberto Sinao, sorry. Coming through Le Mans. That is Sergio, who's gone P19 in his Audi. So Alberto keeping it towards that left-hand side of the circuit as they hit the tri-oval part of the track. Across the line, no improvement. No, he does, he goes P3. And that is only 0.06 of a second off the provisional pole. Here is Patrick Thompson in his Mercedes-Benz taking a higher line. Is he preparing for a lap here? The Apex Academy driver. I believe he's possibly just setting himself up for a lap as now he comes down the tri-oval in towards turn 1. Just look how wide they go and then bring it in towards that tyre wall. Get the nose pointing in, that's where you want to be. Through 2 and 3, you don't really feel like they're there. Into now the International Horseshoe. Gets it turned in lovely, clips the apex on the way out, using all the road on exit. Now flicks it through the dogleg towards the Western Horseshoe. Again, just go a little deep, bring it back in. There he does, straight onto the apex. Keeps it tighter mid-corner and on the exit as well. It's where you want to be. He only needs to find 3/10 to put him on provisional pole. As we're coming to the back end of qualifying, so drivers will be getting their last laps in. Here's Blainat then. Very dark on the camera. You see there. But the Argentinian, if he is in Argentina, it will be very early in the morning. Taking part in this event. Coming down towards the oval section of the circuit now. Seeing a few green sector times pop up on the screen, but not massive amounts. So the drivers not being able to maybe put in as quick a lap times at the very end here as they would have liked. So the drivers being able to get final runs in. There is 40 seconds left of the session, and when the session hits 10 minutes, that is that done. Laubish there, dropping below the yellow line, putting himself up into P4 for Nicholas Laubish there. Interesting line to take. As he moves up into P4, there's a Porsche 1, 2, 3 and 4. Here is the only Lamborghini then. Coming into the Western Horseshoe, the all-white Lamborghini Huracan Evo. Currently sitting in P14, but yeah, he's going to run out of time here. That is the session done. So it will be Tobias Soriano who will take that pole position, and it's not just a Porsche 1-2, it is an Argentina 1-2 as he takes pole from Juan Blainert there in second place. Row 2 is Alberto Sinau with Nicholas Laubish P4. Luis Bellicki is 5th place with Julian Van Buell in 6th. Simon Demori 7th with Carlos Moreira in P8, Gerard Sardini 9th, Ruben Lorente P10, Patrick Thompson P11 with Felix Votter P12. 13th place for Kovacs, Christian in P14 with Vlad Tokarev 15th. Alonso from David Villa, Tim Bellicki, Carlos Alvarez, Borges Orzo P20, Sergio Duran Padina P21 in his Audi, Anthony Taranzo P22, Javier Cerro 23 and Juan Ferrado P24, bringing up the rear then. So they have now a 14-lap race, and once again just a quick reminder that drivers will be eliminated after lap 5. We'll lose drivers 21 to 24 after lap 5. After that we'll lose 2 drivers per lap up until lap 13 and 14, where we will then lose, we will have a top 6 shootout to the very end of the session. For you viewers at home watching, our fantastic producers in the background have managed to put on the graphic the red for elimination and orange is at risk. So if the drivers' names are in orange, they are at risk. Just so that you guys at home can keep up with who is where. So we await the drivers to take to the grid in this 14-lap race. Rolling start as well, let's not forget that. So it is a rolling start, not your traditional standing starts. Here we're on the American circuit, which means rolling start for these guys. And the safety car pulls away. And a few of the cars just a little slow to react. Now catch up there at the beginning of the international, of the Le Mans chicane, sorry. Tobias just creeping in front. He's got the safety car a bit of room to pull away. Through they come now, and for Juan Blainert here, he's actually down in P3 because he just fell behind his teammate from Rincon Racing TM Custom Logos of Alberto Sinau. It's not quite alongside the leader yet, so Tobias Soriano could get a clean getaway here. The safety car will peel off into the pit lane momentarily. In it goes now. And for the first time today in the Racer League, the drivers are underway here at Daytona. It's a great start already from a couple of drivers further down the field. You see them going 2 or 3 wide, already trying to make some moves heading into turn 1. Are we all going to get through cleanly? There's 4 abreast in the mid-pack down by Simon Demori. You see on the very inside there. Not sure who that is on the outside, but Simon Demori getting squeezed towards the wall. There's the driver off through 2 and 3 and a couple more. Vlad Tokarev being one of them. Into the wall he goes. And that a disastrous start through 2 and 3. We said there in the track layout that it's a crucial part to not make contact. And Tokarev returns to his pit box. So that'll be him done for this first race. Oh, more carnage! More carnage! That is one of the apex drivers of Luis Bellicki, who has been punted into the wall by a spinning Porsche. And Bellicki and Lorente as well return to the pits. That'll be their first race done. And now our only Lamborghini Christian in the car behind Sardini. 8th place at the moment, and points mean prizes in this one. Nicholas Laubish, who qualified P4. He looked like he was involved in a few of the dramas early doors as well. That looks a little slow from Laubish. Damage potentially to the car. He's got a lot of work to do if he's to make up any positions. Lorente here out of the race, it says. The other two still in pit lane. Here is Borges Zarzo then running in a Porsche. Privateer trying to take the high line over the Mercedes just ahead of him. That is Carlos Moreira. This is for the race lead. Tobias Soriano still leading the way from Sinau. Now in P2. Leonat stays third. Borges Zarzo did make up a place. And Simon de Mori has got past Van Buell as well. So drama wherever you look at the moment. Now Borges Zarzo's lost back out to Moreira, trying to fend off that of Alvarez. The solo BMW driver here. And Laubish is into the pit. So drivers could pretty much relax now, because that is going to be the bottom 4 who are out of this race. That will be them done. And our elimination at the end of lap 5 will be them 4. Verardo now gets past Toranzo, who is now in the pit lane as well. So he's pretty much eliminated when we get to the end of lap 6. Verardo's got some work to do to catch Belicki in front of him. This is Tobias Sereno, though. Out front at the moment, 0.2 of a second, but that is nothing, as the slipstream is very effective around this circuit. Here is Patrick Thompson in his Mercedes-Benz, just sat behind Van Buell and Simon de Mori, you see there in front. Will he now use that slipstream out of Le Mans to try and get himself ahead of de Mori and Van Buell? Borges also now losing out to Alvarez. Here we go, look at this battle. Here is the Borges Orzo battle. Must be a slowdown for the Porsche taking the high line. Look at the loss of speed he's had. I believe that is Alonso. Borges Orzo got caught out there massively. Now I believe there's another slowdown for one of the other drivers. That looks like Moreira. And now in towards turn 1 they come again. That is the Audi driver of Duran Pardina looking up the inside of Alonso. He's somewhere to the left of him. And as Alonso's now going to break into the International Horseshoe, there is Pardina looking right around the outside. And is he able to keep that momentum? I don't believe he has. No, tucks back in behind Alonso and will have to go once again a little later on. Moreira's now returned to the pit lane. So Verardo can go an extra lap here. Is that a mistake from the Audi driver of Pardina there in the background? Looked a little slow to get away. Here's Tim Belicki on the back of Javier Cerro. Porsche versus Ferrari, right in the slipstream. Let's watch his closing speed before Le Mans. Into 6th gear he goes. You just see him slowly starting to creep onto the back, more and more. Does he pull out and have a look going into Le Mans? No, stays behind. Picks his braking zone, absolutely pitch perfect there, because if he'd got that slightly wrong, he was in the back of the Ferrari. Now look at the run he gets through Le Mans. Now this might be where he chooses to go up high and take the move as Zorzo gets past Alvarez on the timing screen. Bump draft in his way around the banking. Here is Borges Zorzo. You're seeing Alonso and Alvarez further back going at it as well. And just behind them, Duran Pardina. Into turn 1. That is very wide from Alonso there. Was off the road, back on. Pardina's got past him, and Pardina again going to try to look to that outside line. This could allow Alonso up the inside. Patrick Thompson's now out. So both Apex Academy drivers out of this race. So the elimination laps have already took part. We're not even at lap 5 yet. We've already lost several drivers in this first race. Down they come towards the left-hand bend. Tim Bellicki did make up a place. He's now on the back of Alonso. So Bellicki did get past Serro at some point in this race. The top three separated by 0.8 of a second out front. You just feel that they're possibly using each other to maybe wait till the very end of the race to get the move done. It's all about scoring points in this race. Borges Arzo then in that battle for 10th place. That is David Veer in front by about half a second to Borges Arzo. He will be feeling the slipstream. That'll be pulling him in slowly. Just see that time in the graphic in the bottom right, just coming down little by little here as they cross the line. We can take a look at a few replays though. This is the start of the race. Then you see a few drivers already going 3 or 4 abreast coming through the tri-oval part of the circuit in towards turn 1, where it really got tight with a few drivers making it 3 or 4 wide into 2 and 3. And this is where one driver drops out wide there. I believe Tokarev clips the wall and spins himself around. So this is Lorente. This is what happened to him. He's touched the grass and goes around, and then you'll see Tokarev's Ferrari also off. Oh, and then Luis Bellica, look at that. The 2 Porsches. That is Laubish, sorry. Not sure who the other one. Laubish in the yellow Porsche. Look, side by side through the dogleg. Just taps the rear of the Mercedes of Carlos Moreira. And that's what caught Luis Bellica out there then. Nothing wrong, Luis. You know, just a Porsche going backwards into the back of him. Patrick Thompson here then. This is why he's out of the race. Oh, he's dropped it on his own mid-corner. That is very unusual there. Very strange. And he just immediately returns to the pit lane. Did not fancy carrying on with that. That is strange. Little spin there. This is Demori, currently P5. I believe there that, you know, I think Tokarev clipped the wall himself and spun himself around at the beginning. Now, Carlos Alvarez on the back of Borges Arzo. Arzo's got really close as well to Vey just in front. That was half a second last time round. That's now a 10th. As Tim Bellicki then has been re-overtaken by Serro. Here's Sardini. Zarzo looking to the outside of Vey, but he's now got the BMW of Alvarez looking up the inside through 2 and 3. Borgia will have that inside line coming into the international horseshoe. Pardina's back ahead of Alonso behind. No, he's not. Lost out now coming through the horseshoe. Borgia's also side by side with Vey then. Through the dogleg round the outside. BMW fancies a piece of this action as well, and Borges also is going to go up the inside of Vey. And now the BMW of Alvarez is going to try and follow through. He's going to be on the outside line though, coming onto the oval. Bellicki's got back ahead of Serro. Can that BMW M4 go around the outside? No, it cannot. Went a little deep and lost the momentum coming onto the oval, but Borges Arzo now. The problem for Borgia is he's 3.5 seconds behind Kovacs. He's got no slipstream from anybody in front. So this could hurt him. He's made the move now, but this could really hurt him going forward in the race. Borges Arzo then through the Le Mans chicane. We're on lap 6 of 14. So this is where we lose Moreira and Toranzo, but they're already out the race. Look at that closing speed from Vey behind in that Mercedes-Benz. Towards the line he comes. He's just waiting, though, for Borgia, who stays tight across the start line. Drifts it out wide, ready for turn 1, and Vey's kept it tight. Is he going to look up the inside coming into turn 1? He does indeed, gets it up the inside. Didn't run a little deep. I think Borgia was expecting him to go a little deep there because he seemed to brake early and let him have that place relatively easy. Bit of a wiggle, though, under braking for Alvarez, who's having a big lunge into the international horseshoe here. clean as a whistle, up the inside of Borges Orzo, out the horseshoe, but Borges will have that inside line for the dogleg. Now Alonso's getting involved in this little squabble as well. And Alvarez up the inside at the western horseshoe. He's to the right-hand side of Borges. Now there he is. And he still hasn't got the move done yet. Borges will have that inside line coming onto the oval. And Alvarez trying to go the long way around the outside. I believe he's got that move done. Not quite, though. At the moment, he's now got to take the high line, and this could help Alonso get past Alvarez as well as Borges Orzo. Borges will be getting that slipstream from the Mercedes in front as he follows the same line. Alvarez still keeping it there. Alonso's not been able to get through. He's now side by side, is Alvarez, with that of Borges Orzo, and Orzo lets him have it. Around the outside goes the M4. Great move from Alvarez there. And Borges Orzo will have to fight another day, but now has that slipstream of Alvarez in front, and it's Vey who all of a sudden doesn't have any slipstream. Sardini has Demori all over the back of him. He's had a good scrap 2 weeks ago. Is a Porsche 1-6, and we have lost Juan Ferrado here then. The first actual runner eliminated from the race, but he'll take 17th place, and that'll be 14 points in the bag for him. So Juan Ferrado, great experience for him to be out there. And now it's Tim Bellachy and that of Javier Cerro, who are the drivers in danger. Cerro a little bit off the back of Tim Bellachy. Tim Bellachy within 1.2 of Duran Pardina. It says he's out the race, but his camera... Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened there. I wonder if he's lost possible connection. He's back on the track. Right, so possibly just a little blip in the connection. Tim Bellachy then is 1.2 off the back of Pardina. Anything could happen to them cars in front, though. They're having a great little squabble. And for Bellachy at the moment, he is now trying to get... He's just outside that slipstream, I'd say. At the moment, he's possibly going to be eliminated this lap unless a mistake happens from one of these drivers further up the field. Through the Le Mans chicane they come. Here is Javier Cerro. He will be eliminated. He is way too far back now unless a mistake happens on the oval. But they look a bit spread out up front. Is this Tim Bellachy's chance? Did Pardini get a slowdown through Le Mans? And Bellachy here probably can't believe his luck. And on the last part of the circuit, gets the move complete on Duran Pardina, who got a slowdown through Le Mans, I do believe. And that has cost him a place and cost him the chance of an extra lap to try and attack the back of Alonso. Now Alonso trying to get past Borges Orzo to eliminate him. That is Alvarez on the back of Vey as well. But Tim Bellachy now is, what, 1.4 off this battle. How he'd love one of these to get another slowdown there. So he lost Javier Cerro and Sergio Duran Pardina. P15 and 16 for them two. Now it is Alonso and Bellachy, the two drivers who look to be eliminated this time around. Good little fight between these four. Anything can happen. So for Tim, as we've just seen, he's not out of this yet. He's still 1.4 seconds behind. These boys using the slipstream. The wipers on there for Alonso. I can assure you it's not raining here. Probably caught the wrong button on his steering wheel there as the wipers was going. But down towards the Le Mans chicane. 1.6 the gap now to Tim Bellachy. So he's had a bit of a poor exit onto the oval. Oh, that's a little wide through there from Alonso, who's possibly compromised his run. With Borges also getting slipstream as well, you feel it's going to be too much for him to do the job and get past. So we're going to lose Miguel Alonso and we're going to lose Tim Bellachy here then. That'll be 13th and 14th for them. Now it's Alvarez in the M4 and Borges Orzo in his Porsche 911. to try and get past Vey. Borgia needs to clear the pair of them to get on another lap. These three, though, are 3 seconds behind Kovacs. They brought the gap down a little bit. It's not enough. At the moment, it is Juan Blanat with the fastest lap of the race, currently sitting P3. This is looking back from David Vey. The Fury Sim Sport driver. He's got the M4 of Alvarez Privateer and Borges Arzo Privateer behind him in his Porsche. You just get the feeling of 2 weeks ago where, can't remember who it was, but was picked at the line to be eliminated. Could that happen to Vey here in his Mercedes? The only Mercedes remaining, the only two cars after this lap that will be remaining is the Mercedes of Vey and Christian's Lamborghini. The rest are Porsches. As Alvarez, defending from Borges Arzo, needs a great run through Le Mans now, does Alvarez, to make sure he's in that slipstream of the Mercedes-Benz. I don't think he's got enough here. He's slowly making inroads, but it just doesn't feel like it's going to be enough. The line is coming up pretty quick now, and I think we're definitely going to lose Borges Arzo. Alvarez as well, he got closer, tries to drop under the line, and Alvarez will be eliminated P11. Borges Arzo will be eliminated P12. And I like that from Alvarez and Zarzo there. They both immediately knew they was eliminated and pulled straight off instead of trying to fight Vey that we saw a few times 2 weeks ago. So now David Vey, P10, probably eliminated, 3 seconds off the back of Martin Kovacs, who's 5 seconds off the back of Felix Votter. So the two Hungarians look like they're going to be eliminated this time around. Here is Felix, who is right on the back of Christian in his Lamborghini, and Simon De Mori and Gerard Sardini. So he's got a chance here to possibly just get a little closer to the three in front, maybe to survive going forward a little bit more. Here is Sardini, driving well ahead of De Mori. De Mori's been following him for a while now. And look at that, pushing him near enough into the Le Mans chicane. And is Van Buren just ahead of the pair of them. And the top three, by the way, haven't changed places once. They are just following each other. And it is separated by just under half a second. So they are just doing exactly what they need to do. Kovacs, though, is the driver who will be eliminated in P9. A little off the back of Votter. The Porsche driver, top 10 result for him. It's not the worst thing in the world in terms of points. And David Vey, he comes through P10. Now, it is Christian Strittenberger. I have probably absolutely butchered that, but we gave it a go. P7 at the moment. Votter is P8. Yeah, he's a little off the back of the Porsche. De Mori in front is Christian. Needs to pick up a bit of pace from somewhere. Through Le Mans, probably his best bet. Votter just behind him. That is extended to 1.2. So Votter pretty much out of this one. Yeah, you can just see Van Buren as well, just getting a little closer in the sight to Gerard Sardini and that of Simon De Mori. But for Christian here, coming through the first part of the oval. Just not gaining at all in his Lamborghini. The two Porsches doing a cracking job just ahead. Needs a great run through Le Mans. He gained a little bit through there. Bit of a moment. Manages to hold on to it. That's going to put that to bed. Lost all momentum. Tried to push it through Le Mans as hard as he could. And it wasn't to be. So that'll be the end of Christian Strittenberger then and Felix Votter. They'll finish P7 and 8. But again, good points. We're now seeing a few changes for the lead of this. Tobias Soriano and Albert Sinau having a bit of a squabble. Nearly going door to door there. Blanett just watching on in the background as his teammate attacks P1. So the final 6 here. It is kind of 2 halves as well. It is the top 3, and then it is 4th, 5th, and 6th, all in their own little fight. They've got 2 laps now, and we're starting to see at this final stage of the race that the leaders just starting to attack each other here then. Onto the oval, Blanett. Just a little off the back of his teammate. We'll still feel the slipstream of both cars in front, so we'll have a double hole punched in the air for him. Getting that double slipstream down the straight. Pulling him in. Every little bit into Le Mans they come for the penultimate time. Soriano leads this race. Don't forget, it's probably less about winning from pole position and more about what you do in that second race reverse grid as to what points you score. Soriano and Sinau are now going side by side towards the line. I believe Alberto Sinau has just taken the lead. He's got ahead. Soriano still there though. And they are still together coming into turn 1, nearly touched doors. Blanett could be sat in the box seat here. Soriano runs a little deep at turn 1. Sinau now tries to fight back, and I believe has got in front. Soriano will still have a bit of a car up the inside coming into the International Horseshoe on this final lap. Blanett here just watching on as his teammate attacks the race leader. Sardini and Demori have got onto the back of Van Buell behind as well. Oh, and so Sinau has dropped it on his own and will lose that podium spot. Just pushed the car a little too much at the very end, and around she went through the dogleg. And 3 become 2 now. It is the 2 Argentinians who will do battle here. And did Soriano just clip the outer wall? Look at Blanett start to close. You're just going to see that Porsche getting bigger and bigger and bigger in his rear view mirror. Gaps under 2 tenths. Gaps under 1.5 tenths. It's all about the run through Le Mans. Blanett's going to leave this till the very end here. We saw this 2 weeks ago. Are we going to see it once again? Blanett gives him a bump! Gives him a bump, and it unsettles his car! And it's all gone horribly wrong for the Rincon Racing TM Customs logo team. They've both had mistakes on this final lap, and Tobias Soriano is going to come home to take the race win. Julian Van Buell will take a 2nd place, and Sardini looks like he's going to take a podium. You cannot make that up on the final lap. Soriano wins the race from Van Buell. Sardini P3, Demori in 4th. And then it will be Sinau and Blanett to take 5th and 6th. But at the very end of the race there, absolutely incredible. The Rincon Racing team, both drivers had a chance of a 1-2. Obviously, this isn't a team game. It is all for individuals, but representing the same brand. A chance of a 1-2. Chance to be on, in a good stead for that 2nd race for some prize money. And it goes horribly wrong. At the end, we can bring you the final classification now. Tobias Soriano, your race winner, car number 16 from Julian Van Buell. Gerard Sardini in 3rd with Simon Demori, P4. Alberto Sinau and Juan Blanett, P6. Christian Strettenberger, P7. Felix Votter, P8. David Vey, P9 with Martin Kovacs rounding out the top 10. Carlos Alvarez, Borges Orzo, Tim Belichick, Miguel Alonso, Javier Cerro, Sergio Duran Pardina, Juan Ferrado, Patrick Thompson. The top 18, Carlos Moreira, Anthony Toranzo, Vlad Tokrev, Luis Belichick, Ruben Lorente, and Nicholas Lubish. The 24 on the grid, but what a dramatic end to that race there for the Argentinian of Juan Blanett and Alberto Sinau. had it in the palm of their hands, and really they had that opportunity. Blanat could have carried that momentum through. He was the one who tapped the back of Soriano and just lost the rear of the car coming through. It was absolutely crazy scene. Now dropped it on his own through the Western Horseshoe. Through the dogleg, sorry, just coming up to the Western Horseshoe. Yeah, absolutely crazy stuff here at Daytona. And we've got the reverse grid coming up, so Tobias Soriano will be starting from last place as the drivers are in a warm-up session at the moment, just to make sure that they are ready before they head into qualifying. So far, there's only 2 cars out on track. They won't be able to register a lap time, obviously, due to the track being 1 minute 40 long. So yeah, crazy scenes at the end of that race. Really was interesting to see. You thought it was going to happen again, didn't you? A race win taken away at the line, and no, not to be today. Tobias Soriano led that race. Bit of squabbling at the end with Sina, who was exchanging first and second, but he held on strong, and he managed to take that first place in what was a fantastic fight. Up and down the order. It took a while, though, to get to some elimination laps because we lost a lot of drivers through incidents early on in the race, and a couple of drivers who span on their own into the wall that cost them their race one. They'll come from the front of the grid, though. In that second race, we'll be able to bring you the graphic and the full qualifying grid order from that reverse grid race for race 2 here. 14 laps once again, the exact same process. 5 laps will be full racing. Before the end of lap 5 will be the top at the bottom. 21 to 24 will be eliminated, and then so on and so forth. Lap 6 to 12 will be 2 drivers eliminated per lap as we then come into that final 6 for the final 2 laps. In what was great racing in that first race here today. So it's going to be a great opportunity to see what drivers are going to do in this second race. We do have the grid order for you now. It will be Nicholas Laubish, who will go from P1 with Ruben Lorente, P2. In third place will be Luis Belicky. Fourth will be Vlad Tokarev. Row 3 will be Anthony Taranzo with Carlos Moreira. P7 will be Patrick Thompson ahead of alongside Juan Ferraro. Sergio Duran Padina will go from 9th with Javier Cerro, P10. Excuse me. Buzz Orzo, P13. We'll go back. That is P11, Miguel Alonso, Tim Belicky, P12. P13, Borges Orzo, P14, Carlos Alvarez. Martin Kovacs alongside his fellow Hungarian David Vey. Felix Votter with Christian Strettenberger, P18. Juan Blanett, P19, Alberto Sinau, P20. Simon Demori, Gerard Sardini, and bringing up the rear, Julian Van Buel and Tobias Soriano then. As the drivers now go onto the grid to get ready for this race. What will happen in this one? Who will win this one? Reverse grid. A lot of fast drivers in qualifying at the front. Some cars didn't get to the grid. That is Nicholas Laubich, Martin Kovacs, Vlad Tokarev, Anthony Toranzo, and Patrick Thompson did not make the grid here. So unsure why. So that means we have 19 drivers. So I do believe that there will be no elimination at the end of lap 5. That'll then take it to the end of lap 6, where we should only lose the 1 driver, I do believe. But we'll keep our eyes on the timer screens and see what that says. 19 cars for race 2. The pole sitter, Nicholas Laubich, in a good position to win this race, not on the grid. That hands the advantage, you'd say, to Ruben Lorente or Luis Belicky. Now, I believe they do score points where they finished in that first race, so it's not all doom and gloom yet, but they need the drivers who are at the back of the field this time to not come through, to struggle to come through, should I say. So the safety car pulls into the pit lane now, and we will be green in a few moments' time. As Lorente already makes sure he gets the hammer down and pulls away. Here is Carlos Moreira going side by side with Luis Belicky, already coming down into turn 1. A few spaces at the front of the pack. It's not as congested as it was early on. It is further back, though. And that is Alvarez in the BMW M4 making up a couple of spots. Everybody through cleanly this time? Yes. easy as you like. Now we've got to tackle the international horseshoe. And a bit of bump in there with Christian. Christian, that is one of the Porsches. That looked like Juan Blainet. But it is Lorente from Belliquet, from Morera. And it was Morera. Belliquet, who's that? That is Alvarez. Has he spun around one of the Porsches, who has managed to stay on the slip road, and that's another car around. So Miguel Alonso, in fact, there's two more. That is David Vey and Tim Belliquet involved there. Juan Blainet then, coming through the pack, needs to score points after his 6th place. He's got the high side over that of Serro just underneath him, who's being pushed along by Van Buel, who got 2nd place. So he's looking for points as well. He gets past Blainet. Oh, and that's a mistake into Le Mans there from Serro. Has to cut across it. And that's going to hurt him. That is going to hurt him in this race. Luis Belliquet's had a problem somewhere. Has had a bit of a slowdown. Lost a couple of places. That puts Borja Zorzo up into P4 and Duran Pardina in the Audi up into 3rd place. So Luis Belliquet there, possibly with a slowdown to his name. He's in the pits. So what has happened to Luis Belliquet? I believe his day may be done. And so's Tim Belliquet's brother. So the Belliquet brothers are out of the race. Not the day for them two then. Not sure what happened to Luis Belliquet out front. This is, believe... Oh, that is Ferrado, who's had a moment just trying to see which one of the Rincon cars that was. Believe it was Blainet who was going up the inside. Ferrado's had a mistake there. Not sure if he got a tap. And now Soriano going up the inside. And a drive-through penalty given to Carlos Alvarez for an unsafe rejoin. Lap 2, turn 1. And Alvarez, the BMW M4 driver, currently sat in 6th place, has got a drive-through penalty to his name. So that will really ruin his chances here of some good points. Simon Demori 4th in race 1. Van Buel was 2nd in race 1. He's up to 7th already. And he's well ahead of Soriano here, who's down in 12th place, just behind this battle of Blainet and Demori. Here is Serro on the back of Strittenberger and ahead of Alonso. Simon Demori now trying to defend Alvarez. Is in the pit lane for his drive-through penalty. That is really going to hurt him. But it's not doom and gloom for him yet. Anything can happen in racing. Demori covers that inside line. Absolutely perfect. Blainet still can't get through at the moment. The gap for Lorente to Morera out front, by the way. 1.2 seconds. Borja Zorzo going up the inside of Duran Pardina. Good move for Borja Zorzo there. They're moving up onto the podium now, P3. Can he get past Morera and get P2? Could Borja Zorzo, who was 12th, I believe, which would have given him 19 points, race 1. This will currently give him 28. So is he going to put himself in contention for a bit of prize money here, Borja? We'll have to wait and see. We're on lap 3 of 14 at the moment. So we've lost a few drivers then. So it is Alvarez 17th, who I believe will be the first to be eliminated when we get there. Potentially lap 7. Miguel Alonso after his spin, trying to get on the back then of Strettenberger. Serro 14th place ahead of Vey. In the Ferrari 296, battling against the Mercedes. Porsches have been very good today. There's one Mercedes of Morera 2nd place, and Duran Padina in the Audi, but this is the battle between Van Buel and Votter. I believe Van Buel has got ahead. He has. Votter now coming under pressure from Sinau, who had that moment all on his own. If you'll remember race 1, he finished 5th place. Sinau will want to make up some points that he lost in that first one. Van Buel, I think, is sat in the box seat to take the overall race win. If it stays as it is. Duran Padina sticking to the back of Borges Zarzo. That is allowing Lorente and Moreira to just pull away even more. Sinau's got the fastest lap of the race, a 43.7. Some 4/10 quicker than Votter in front. But it's about when he can get through. He's got laps, though, don't forget, he's got laps in hand to overtake, but he'll want to get moves done quicker to try and close that gap to the front pack, who's 4/10 quicker than the leader as well. Could that be the effect of the slipstream? More than likely. Comes through the Le Mans chicane. You see Borges Zarzo and Duran Padina just ahead of Van Buel. It's Felix Votter ahead of Sinau that we're on board with at the moment. Look at the Porsche close in on the Porsche in front. Not fully following him here. Alonso gets ahead of Strittenberger for 12th and 13th. Not fully tucking behind him. Very close to the wall on the outside. Wide in. Flick that front end round Borges Zarzo. And Padina's been caught by Van Buel here. So that's from 3rd down to P5 as Sinau looking up the inside. Replays on the left-hand side of your screen from the start of this race. Sinau stays behind Votter. This is the start of the race, though, on the left-hand side of your screens. That is Alonso being tapped by Alvarez there. And it does well to not slide that across the track, back onto the road. Manages to keep it on the brakes and get it slowed down. This is Tim Belicky. Did he lose that on his own there and then just taps the Mercedes round behind him? So this is from Vey's point of view, and Tim Belicky then, oh, did Belicky tap the cars in front that then unsettled himself and got a bit of a tap on the rear? Lewis Belicky got the slowdown. That is why he dropped down the order, and then he returned to the pit lane and retired from the race. But we have a great race on now. Pardina looking out on the back of Borges Zarzo, who's also got Van Buel and Votter and Sinau with him. Sardini's not a million miles away. In fact, he's on the back of this pack as well. Demori's trying to get there, as is Soriano. And I believe Pardina's just got himself a slowdown as he takes that higher line to move out of the quicker car's way. Votter through, Sinau through. Pardina now pulls in between himself. Sorry, Van Buel and Votter through. He pulls in between Votter and Sinau. And look at Votter and Van Buel try to take the fight to Borges Zarzo. And Sinau going around the outside of Duran Padina. Through he goes. Great move around the outside of turn 1. So we've lost that of Thompson, Laubich, Tokarev and Tarazano, who didn't take the start of this race. We're then going to lose Kovacs and Tim Belicky. Belicky retired. Kovacs didn't take the start of the race either. Alvarez has got 2 laps to gain 4 seconds. Borges Zarzo is hanging on for dear life at the moment. He's 3 seconds behind that of Moretta in front, so he's going to be getting no slipstream here. And look at that train. Onto the oval we go. Battle for 3rd. Duran Padina 1.1 behind Borges Zarzo. But on the back of him is Sardini, with Demori, with Soriano. A lot of cars. Here comes Van Buel. Potential overall leader at the moment. Oh, Porsche makes a mistake at Le Mans. That's going to cost him massively. Van Buel through, Votter through. Sinau is also through. Here comes Duran Padina. Borgia tries to force him a little higher there, had a bit of a wiggle on the oval. And he made the mistake all on his own. And now Sardini is past Padina. And look at this, Sinau and Votter having a battle up front as well. Demori's on the back of this train. There is battles everywhere. Demori to the outside, Sardini to the outside, and Sinau to the outside. And none of them make it stick. No, they don't. Sinau nearly clipping the grass there. We saw a catastrophic spin earlier in race 1. Sinau's got through. That's a great move. How's he managed to get that one done? He's kept it in. Really pushed the car through 1, 2 and 3. And now Duran Pardina has got Soriano on the back of him. Sinau can now attack Van Buell. Borges also has gone from 3rd to 8th since the Le Mans chicane. Here is Sardini. P6, he got P3, I do believe, in the first race. So again, another man looking to possibly bag a bit of prize money here. And this is Tobias Soriano, race winner of race 1. Round the outside of Duran Padina into Le Mans. Great move. Your race 1 winner up to P9. Huge points for him in this at the moment. 22 for this race and 32 that he took in the first race. Van Buell, though, the man to watch. Currently P3 and was 2nd place in the first one. Get the feeling that Soriano isn't done yet. We have lost Kovacs and Belicki. We are going to lose Strittenberger, who has returned to the pit lane. So what has happened to him? He's now out of this one. Not sure what happened to Christian Strittenberger then. That gives Alvarez an extra lap to try and get past Ferrado. But that'll probably be the only room he'll be able to make. Looking at Borges Orzo, having Soriano trying to attack him up the inside of the International Horseshoe, now the outside of the dogleg. Flick it left, they go. Goes over the curb a little bit, manages to keep the car facing the right way. And up the inside of the Western Horseshoe, Soriano moves up to P8. And Van Buell at the head of this train. Moreira, by the way, within a second now of Lorente. So Moreira possibly starting to gain over the leader in that slipstream late on in the race. This will massively help him. Here is Alvarez and Ferrado, the two drivers that look like they will be eliminated this lap, barring a disaster for somebody. They are 5.5 seconds behind the next car. Fastest lap still seen out last time around with a 1:43.7. Here is Sinau, P4 on the back of Van Buell. He's got Votter behind him, Sardini, Demori. Soriano not close enough to this pack as Alvarez looks to get ahead of Ferrado. Got himself that drive-through penalty early on as well. Let's not forget, that's probably what's cost him in this race. Herrera, again, last time around, 4/10 quicker than the race leader. Alvarez underneath at the bottom part of the oval to get into P15, and that's where he will finish his day. 15th place, Ferrado will take 16th. And that will be them two eliminated. Now we turn our attention to David Vey and Javier Cerro. Big gaps between them two. Vey's got a couple of seconds to Alonso as well. Back to the battle for the podium, really. Sardini and Demori trying to stick with that of Votter, Sinau and Van Buell. Soriano, P8. He wants to try and make up as many places as he can. What happened to Blainat in this race? He's 11th still, not really with the leaders. Not really seen Juan. He was in the mix of things early on, but he's tumbled down the orders. P11. So he must have had an early mistake in this race. Van Buell. There's Moreira and Lorente, the leaders. Now, while them two are going to start squabbling, that might allow these guys to gain a little bit. But I doubt it, because these are having a fantastic fight. Here is Julian Van Buel. Currently P3 from Sinau, and then Felix Votter. Javier Cerro then is some 6 seconds off the back of David Vey. David Vey, he's also 2.2 off the back of Alonso. So this will be the end for David Vey. 13th place for him in this one, as Moreira now takes the race lead going into turn 1. Sardini's got ahead of Votter. They're scrobbling as well behind, but it's a change for the lead out front. Moreira leads this race from Lorente, and Votter stays ahead of Sardini. Or does he? Because Sardini's going to try and go around the outside. And Sinau could get swamped here coming through the exit of the International Horseshoe. He doesn't. Sardini inside line for the dogleg. If he can get it done, a bit of a wiggle there from Votter. And Votter's now going to come under pressure from De Mori around the outside. Oh, nearly making contact there. This is allowing Soriano to gain onto the back of this pack. He's within half a second of De Mori, so he's really going to feel the effects of the slipstream. So when Van Buel was thinking about maybe this could be his day to win the prize money, may have to think again. We lost Javier Cerro and David Vey on the last lap. It is now Blanat and Alonso, the drivers, at risk. Alonso way behind, 6 seconds behind Blanat. Blanat on the back of Pardina. So needs the run through here. Unlike last time out in race 1 for the race win, he needs that run now. Soriano, a second to De Mori, so needs to close that gap up a little bit as well. Could this be the end of Blanat? He's closing. He's going to pull to that high side. I believe it's going to be too little, too late. He's getting really close to the back of Pardina now. Is he going to pull out? He's going to try it. Doesn't get it done. So Juan Blanat out of this race. And here we go. Once again, Van Buel from Sinau, Sardini, Votter, De Mori. Soriano in the background. We also lose Alonso. It is Borges Arzo and Duran Padina, the two drivers at risk. If Van Buel beats Soriano by 4 places, and being told he will win the event, it's going to be interesting to see what will happen here. Herrera leads from Lorente, from Van Buel. So 4 places he needs to win the event. That is currently what he has. He has 5 places in hand at the moment. This is Duran Padina looking at Borges Zarzo. This will be these 2 drivers eliminated now. And then Soriano needs to get on the back of De Mori, 9/10 of a second behind him. And we're going to go to the change for position between Padina and Zarzo to the very end. Pardina pulls up high. Just comes out that slipstream, tucks back in. Is he going to get it on the line? Here comes Pardina and Zarzo. Zarzo will take P9, Pardina P10. And Sardini still fighting with Votter. De Mori's now having a look at the Porsche of Felix Votter. Trying to go around the outside. This is where Soriano now needs to be on these guys, because he needs to get 2 places here to carry on going for an extra lap. Oh, bit of a moment there for De Mori as well as Votter. Great racing, absolutely terrific racing between these boys. Puff of the chest there for De Mori on his camera. Working hard. Now he's got to use that slipstream. This is where he's got to play it tactically. Soriano is just behind him by 3/10. So Demori's got to play this very clever here. Look at that gap come down between Demori and Votter. Do not get a slowdown here. This is not where you need the slowdown penalty. A big smile on Felix Votter's face. He's clearly enjoying this battle. Has he done enough? He'll be getting the slipstream from the car in front of him. We're going to go on to that final 2 laps, where it is the top 6 shootout. And I believe we're going to lose Demori and we're going to lose Soriano. So all Van Buel has got to do is finish 4 cars ahead of Soriano. He's currently 5 cars ahead. 5 places ahead, sorry. So what's that points-wise? So 32 and 23. So that's 55 for Soriano. And 29 and 28. That'll be 57 for Van Buel. So 4th or better for Van Buel to take home the prize money of €200 today. But he's got 2 laps to hold off this pack. Votter just dropping off the back a little bit and making that 4-way battle into a 3-way fight. This is the race lead as well. Moreira in the Mercedes, leading over Lorente. Now, is Lorente playing this strategically here? Did he maybe let Moreira through? Well, that's not going to help. He's had a huge moment at the Le Mans chicane. Got a little out of shape. Possible slowdown there. And that has cost him a huge amount of time. I believe that's just given the win to Moreira. We enter the final lap now. And I believe that has just given the win to Moreira there. The white flag is out, you see. And see now, looking over Van Buel. Now's the time to make the moves. Van Buel only 1.1 behind that of Lorente. This is going to go anybody's way. Votter's right back in the mix for this as well. This could go any way for the podium. The bonus for Van Buel is if he can just gain a little bit of time over Lorente here, might just be able to start to pick up that slipstream on the oval, which could help him massively. The gap is under 9/10 of a second between Van Buel and Lorente here. Having that slipstream could be absolutely crucial for Van Buel on this lap. To just give him that extra bit of speed. To keep him away from Sinau. Here we go then, gaps under 8/10. Don't count out Sardini in this race either. He's right behind Sinau coming into the Le Mans chicane. No slowdowns, please. They all get through pretty comfortably. But it's going to be this man. It's going to be Carlos Moreira who's going to take the second win of the day. Great drive from the Mercedes driver. Stopping Porsche dominance. And Carlos Moreira comes onto the tri-oval part of the circuit to win the second race here at Racing Unleashed. But it is going to be Lorente to take P2, and it will be Van Buel P3, Sinau P4, Sardini 5th place, Votter will take P6. So by my calculations, that is Julian Van Buel who will take the prize money today. Great racing throughout. Soriano just couldn't get through the pack, and that's the bonus of these reverse grids. That's the excitement in them of the fact that these drivers have got to do a lot of work. Even with a few drivers missing off that grid at the start of that race, Soriano just couldn't get through the pack. Neither could Blanat either in that one, but it was great to see Moreira stopping that Porsche dominance in the Mercedes-Benz. We'll be able to get you that full final classification as soon as possible in terms of the race winners. But we have the final results, and it is Carlos Moreira who will take that P1. In the second race, Ruben Lorente from Julian Van Buell, Alberto Cianau, Gerard Sardini, Felix Votta, Simon Demori, Tobias Soriano, Borja Zorzo, and Sergio Duran Padina rounds out the top 10. Juan Blanet will be P11, Miguel Alonso from David Vey, Javier Cerro for P14, Carlos Alvarez P15, Juan Ferraro 16th place, Christian Strettenberger 17th place, Tim Bellacchi from Lewis Bellacchi, not the day for the brothers, with Martin Kovacs, Laubish, Tokarev, Toranzo and Thompson not taking the start. Now, we have a unconfirmed top 3, but we are waiting for that final classification in terms of the points, as everything is just being worked out now. If you remember back to 2 weeks ago, Gerard Sardini, I believe, took the €75 for second place. He's in that mix today. He got a 3rd and a 5th in this one. So he's in the mix as our team in the background are working really hard to get these points brought to you and make sure that the result is the correct one for the drivers. But what action we saw there. A few incidents again in this race. Drivers just being caught out. You can see just behind me here, this is the Tim Bellacchi incident. Looked like he just had a moment in front, then got tapped by the car behind. Shame for him. Not his day today in this race, but what an event that was. Daytona, IMSA GT3 cars, that comes to an end, and we move on to the next event, which we will bring to you at the end of today's broadcast. It will be an absolute fantastic one. You can also join us next Saturday for the Spring Event 3 here at Racing Unleashed, back to the Assetto Corsa platform and back in our racing lounges across Munich, Madrid and Kemptal and Zurich Airport, and the one in Calm as well for the final spring event, which will be absolutely fantastic. Not going to give too much away yet. We'll speak about that a little more next week. We can confirm now the top 3. I believe it was Van Buell who won the event. Julian Van Buell from Tobias Soriano, and then it was Gerard Sardini who will get 3rd place. We are just going to wait for their drivers to come in and speak to them. But yeah, next week, the Spring Event 3 Challenger League and Race League drivers back in the racing lounges for them. So that'll be one you will not want to miss. And it's going to be a fantastic day that we can see. Here it is then, look, as well as iRacing Challenge 4, June the 2nd and June 16th. Father's Day here in the United Kingdom for the Racer League. Racing Unleashed iRacing event, but Spring Event 3 next May. That is going to be a fantastic one to do. We can as well now bring you the 4th challenge while we wait for the driver interview. So iRacing Challenge 4 here at Racing Unleashed. It's going to be a huge one. If you have watched the Nordschleife 24-hour this weekend, you would have seen the Toyota GR86 cars go around the circuit. That is the car we are going to do around the famous, the iconic Spa-Francorchamps circuit. 30 drivers, one 10-minute race, one 10-minute qualifying, 2 25-minute races. Forecast, heavy rain. It came to iRacing this year, and it is with them Toyota GR86 cars. So we will be having, for the first time here on this platform, on Racing Unleashed, heavy rain. We are used to seeing so many times clear skies and nice days on the Assetto Corsa platform, and we've had that here for iRacing as well. That all changes next time out. June the 2nd for Challenge League, June 16th for the Race League. You will not want to miss it, and the qualification period is simple. Go over to apexracingtv.com. ApexRacingTVLeague.com, where you can sign up and register to the event. All you have to do is set a pre-qualification time. If you are within them top 30 drivers, you will be in for that Challenger League or Racer League event. Racer League stipulations is the iRating is 6,000 and above, and then it is below that for the Challenger League drivers. So whatever the iRating, take part, sign up, apexracingleague.com. Go there, sign up through their website. That will take you to their Discord and everything else. Do the pre-qualification times and get yourself involved. June the 2nd is when you have until, or just before June the 2nd, until then for you to sign up. A chance to win a bit of prize money as well in this one. As we await the interviews, we are ready, though. We can speak with Soriano, who was I believe, second place overall today. Tobias, congratulations on the second place. €150 coming your way. A great day of racing for you.
Hi, mate. Yes, to be honest, I'm very happy. And two interesting races for me. An interesting qualification and the first race with that final with Juan and Alberto. It was so close to me and the chicane, so I'm very happy to finish in second place in the general list.
Race one kind of went the right way for you because we saw that the two drivers behind you, Juan and Alberto, made their own mistakes, which allowed you to win that race. You must have been relieved that they did that.
Yeah. Of course. Alberto has a spun on the turn 3, I think. The car was very loose on that sector, so with the side by side. I almost lost it too, so to be honest, yes, I'm very happy.
Very happy indeed. Talk us through race 2 a little bit. You just couldn't come through the pack as quick as you'd have liked.
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
Race 2, you couldn't come through the field as quick as you'd have liked to make up a few more places.
Yeah, in the race 2. It was an accident on the lap 1, so trying to avoid that and pushing all I have to advance a few positions, and disafortunately I got eliminated, but it was enough to second place.
It was indeed. Well, Tobias, congratulations on that second place. You'll be taking home €150 prize money. Well done.
Thank you.
So that was Tobias Soriano there, who was second place overall. We can speak with Julian Van Buel, the overall winner. Julian, congratulations, €200 coming your way. That was two very good races.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I liked race 1. I was just chilling, but race 2 was phenomenal. Lap 1, I gained so many positions that helped me a lot to go through the field. And yeah, eventually I got P3 and it was enough. So I was very happy.
You probably couldn't believe your luck in race 1, see the two cars make mistakes and pick up a second place.
Yeah, I was chilling behind, just watching the battle in front of me. I was happy with P4 for race 2 with the full reverse grid. But then they both crashed in front of me, and I was so happy to be P2 and get some good points in. So yeah, it was very lucky, but yeah, very happy.
Very happy indeed. Now, the end of race 2, we saw Ruben Lorente have a mistake. That kind of brought you into his slipstream a little bit. Did that help on that final lap, just be able to stay ahead of Alberto?
I think I would have managed to keep him behind, at least to the bus stop. But after the bus stop, it would have been a drag race. So I don't know if I could keep him behind, but it certainly helped that Ruben was making a mistake and I got the slipstream. And after that, I thought P3 is in the back. So yeah, it definitely helped me.
Yeah, it did indeed. €200 coming your way. You must be very, very pleased though with a great day of racing. And Julian, we hope to see you again on the Racing Unleashed channel.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Goodbye. Great race win there for Van Buel in this one. And we can speak with Gerard Sardini here then, who, well, Daytona. It's been pretty good for you, Gerard.
Yeah, of course. It was a very good race. It was very stressful race. The second one was absolutely chaotic with a lot of overtakes and cars spinned on the track. And yeah, second time here in the interview.
Second time in the interview, and a bit more prize money in the back pocket. Like you say, the second race, very chaotic, a lot of overtakes and a lot of defending. The slipstream was really the key this week as well, because without it, you didn't seem to be able to get onto the pack. When you was in that pack, it was that slipstream that was making their moves.
Yeah, of course. The slipstream here in Daytona, we know that it's the key to do a very good race. And I was in the group all time. When I have to overtake, I did it well without any contact and without losing any type of time. And that's, I think, the key to be in the P3 overall.
Indeed. Spa in 2 weeks' time in the Toyotas. Could you make it 3 in a row on the podium?
Could be. Let's see. In Daytona, in Spa, also the slipstream with Toyota will be the key.
Gerard, congratulations on the P3. We look forward to seeing you again in the future.
Thank you. Thank you so much. See you.
So a very happy top three there, a very happy podium throughout. It's a great day for all three of them, and it'll be a fantastic week next week. The LAN event, the Assetto Corsa event, Spring Event 3 coming up. And we are back with iRacing on the 2nd of June for Spa in the wet with the Toyotas. That is going to be an absolutely fantastic event. And I believe that is all we have time for today. We'll be back, like we say, in just under a week's time. Thank you all for tuning in. Thanks to all the drivers. And again, Apex Racing TV and Racing Unleashed. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.